It's back. Hi, my name is Carole. This is my channel. So Carole, welcome to my sewing room, and I'm very excited to be launching my 4th series of the Fabric Wheel of Fate that we've had in many different forms. Now, I love doing videos. I love doing #FridaySews. I love doing my letterlo, but this series is the series that I absolutely love filming because it's so much fun. I know you enjoy it. It's great for me to use up my stash, and the idea is catching on, which is just amazing. Now, if you are new to my channel, I think I ought to explain what this is, how I came about it, and why am I doing it. So this wheel, I've had this wheel for many years. It's about 20 years old actually. My lovely father, who's very talented with wood, made it for me for when my kids were smaller, and I used to put on the wheel the chores for them to do. At the end of the evening dinner, they would spin the wheel, and if it landed on washing up, they had to wash up. If they landed on tidy the lounge, that was what they did. Of course, there was a section for free play on there, but there we go. It was so much fun. Then a couple of years ago in the summer, I had both my grandsons during the school holidays. So I think I took a picture of it. I put activities on it so that they didn't fight about what we were going to do next. So they'd spin the wheel, and whether it was paints, whatever. But this wheel has been fantastic. And what I found was I had a lot of fabrics in my stash that I just kept bypassing. In that first video, I think I actually showed you the wardrobe, and I showed you the ones that I had that were kind of blocking. Now, it's great fun. What I tend to do is put 6 fabrics on the wheel, and then I spin it, and then whichever it lands on, I have to sew up. Now, the very first series I did about 18 months ago now was a whole load of fabrics that I really didn't think I could use. Funnily enough, I am wearing one of them, which was a out and out success. I think I've shown this many times. It was a strange fabric in which half of it was striped and the other side of the fabric was dots. So I just didn't know what to do with it, and I kept putting it by. But this jumper knit fabric, I just love. So that wasn't the only success. I've had many successes with a fabric wheel. That particular first series, there was a really cheap bit of viscose. I'm afraid, even though after made the garments, they went in recycling in the end because the fabric was just so awful. The second series I did was all about some sweatshirting and knitted. Yeah, it was sweatshirts and French terries, so that was along a similar theme. Last summer I did a double wheel, a double spin. That was because I had a lot of fabrics that were all the same makeup. It was all kind of viscose chalets, and so I could choose a whole load of patterns that I'd never used, and I did a double spin, once for the fabric, once for the pattern, and I got some real winners from that. It was amazing. So where are we now? The 4th series, still using my wheel. Now, I have to say that the idea is catching on. I've seen a recent challenge just started on Instagram, same type of thing. I'm really pleased about that. I've also got 2 of my lovely YouTube friends that I know have been doing it. They're into their probably 3rd series now. So you've got Nancy running with scissors. She's just about to launch her next Wheel of Fate. And you've got the lovely Mary from Love My Crafts who did Dice of Fate, so it's kind of different spin. I don't mind. Do what you want, do it however you want. But this year, this series, why don't we see some of those results on Instagram? Now, I'm going to start a hashtag Fabric Wheel of Fate, because quite often in the comments people have said, oh, I'm going to start doing that. And I'd love to see what you're doing, because obviously you can't post photos to me on YouTube. But if we start up an Instagram page, I'm useless on Instagram by the way, but if you start that up and we start putting that hashtag in, tag me in on it, and I can see your wheels or your dices or whatever you're using to do the same kind of idea, because we all need to sew up some pieces of fabric that we just keep ignoring, don't we? Now, I know not all of you will have a wheel, There are many things you can do though, like the dice. There are computer programs that you can just put in a wheel and spin it that way. The lovely Nancy does it that way. I'm more old school. I'm more paper and pen and things like that. You can actually get these off Amazon, and they are cheap little plastic spinners. I bought a load of these when I was practicing doing the clock with my grandsons, and I'd make them up. But then I cobbled together something this afternoon for you to see how easy it is. Bit of Amazon cardboard, we all have that. We all have pins and we all have buttons. And all I've done is drawn a wheel, put a little bit of Sharpie on the button, and then you just spin the button and there you go. You can do it however you want. But all I would say is join in the fun and let's get some of these stash sewn up. So what is on the wheel? Should we have a look at the fabrics? Somebody did say to me in the comments, if they're awful pieces, then why did you buy them? There's a reason behind every single one of these fabrics, and I think we've all bought stuff and thought about it after, haven't we? So they're not awful fabrics, I just don't know what to do with them. And I will honestly say, I'm looking at the pile now thinking, I really don't know what I'm going to do with these. But once the wheel tells me to sew it up, I'm going to sew it up. I think the whole thing is I'm not very good at making decisions, am I? And I need someone else to do it for me. So what have I got? Okay. So this is it's quite a lovely piece of viscose linen. I bought a couple of years ago because the idea was I was going to do a bit of colour blocking with like a chambray or blue linen top dress. But it's not great colour. It's not, it looks better on screen, but it's like a murky cream. It's not great. So I haven't sewn it because I really don't know. With most of these, I've probably got 1.5 meters. So that rules out anything like dresses. But so that is number one, this kind of viscose linen. Lovely print. There we go. Don't know what to do with that one. This one here, I had it in my head this winter that I was going to make like a plaid shirt. So I ordered this fabric and it came very different to how I thought. The checks were very different. It's very soft. It's quite nice. It's not brushed or anything, but it's just like a soft cotton. But I don't know. I mean, I know, we all know how hard it is to match plaid. So why I thought making a shirt out of it would be a good idea, I don't know. Or will it? I'm not sure. This was just a quick rush purchase. Again, it's 1.5 meters. It's a viscose. It is a lovely fabric. It's a viscose chalet, but it's quite officey and businessy, or evening, and that's not really me. So I don't know why I suddenly thought, oh, I must get that. I think I must have seen it advertised with a pattern or something. So again, nice piece, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm saying that the same to all of them, isn't it? This is a piece of flower needle cord. I think originally I thought about making a skirt out of it, but I don't wear skirts. Again, I think it was a cheaper fabric that I picked up somewhere in a hurry. It's a very, very thin needle cord. And needle cord is not one of my favourite things to sew up anyway. I recently did make a pinafore out of it though, which I had to line. But this is only going to be 1.5 meters of it. Oh. This was in a knit subscription box that I used to get. Now there is a piece of navy as well. So this is kind of very thin, is it ITY probably, sort of fitness wear, swimsuit type fabric. It's lovely, it's really nice, but I've had it for nearly 2 years and I really don't know what to do with it. But it needs to be made up. But to tell you something, it looks lovely on camera. So maybe from a distance it looks better than it does when I'm actually holding it up. So there we go. I've got, I think, about 2 meters of this. Why I would ever want 2 meters out of it, I have no idea. And the last one is a double brush poly. Now I went through a whole stage of every time I went to America on holiday, bringing back loads of double brush poly. And I think this is one of the last pieces I have. And I kind of gone off wearing it. I think I got it from Joann's. Yeah, I think I just saw a Joann. Yeah, Joann's. 1.5 meters again. It will make a nice top, I'm pretty sure. I think I've probably got 2 yards, I would say. 2 yards of that. I don't know. And that is why they are on the wheel, because every time I go into my fabric stash and look through the fabrics, I think, what am I going to make with those? So please, wheel, help me decide what to do, one fabric at a time, get them sewn up and then see what they look like. Because what I have learned is some of those fabrics look much better when they're made into garments. So I think the next thing to do is actually spin the wheel and see what we come up with. When I first started doing this series, I was convinced you were all going to think that I was cheating and rigging it to be the fabric I wanted. So I used to put my set the stopwatch on my phone next to it. I know you trust me now. So I will just film it on my phone, give it a good spin. This is the bit where I start to get nervous, and we'll see what it's going to be. So this will be the first spin of the 4th series of Fabric Wheel of Fate. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be the double brush poly. That's probably one of the easiest things I could have started with. So thank you, wheel. This double brush poly is what it's gonna be. So here we go. This is it. This is the double brush poly. Now, a sensible person would have already got all patterns and things in their mind as to what I'm going to do, but I haven't. I honestly haven't. So, I mean, it's nice. It is nice, but it's double brush poly and I'm not sure if I really like it anymore. I did make something in a double brush poly not all that long ago, which actually was very rigid. Didn't feel nice at all, but this does feel soft and feels nice, and we are in winter, so let's see how the first one comes out. I am hoping to be back next week with my first results, because I don't want to keep you waiting too long. I think last summer I kept everybody waiting too long, partly because I was away and then had my arm operation. So let's see if we can get through these 6 fabrics a lot quicker this time round. So do you think you're going to have a go? I really hope you do join me in this challenge, and I really hope that we can see each other's pictures on Instagram. As I said, I'm not brilliant at Instagram, but I do have a daughter that does it, so she can always help me out if I get stuck. So I'm going to put, obviously I will put up my make on this hashtag Fabric Wheel of Fate. It does look a bit weird when you type it, because of the of fate, looks off fate, but there we go. Let's start this challenge again. I'm so glad to be back with this, and I know you are too. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching this today, and let's kind of use up some of our stash, shall we? Thanks again. Please join me again for another video, whether it be hashtag Friday Sews or anything else that I might put out. I will see you shortly. Goodbye for now and happy sewing.